everybody. And everybody on TikTok who's going to be watching this live, come on over to YouTube because this is a party. It's a freaking Monday. I know on Mondays it's kind of a depressing kind of a day because you're back to that normal work week and stuff. And, you know, your bills are coming in. We know. It's the hard life sucks. Pay your taxes, be a good little citizen, whatever. But you got to take time out for yourself, like coming to the show, watching it live, to escape the reality, even if it's only for an hour. Escaping reality helps you get going, helps you to fight on. You know, like Connor. Connor's even at work, but Connor's like, I need a little break even while I'm at work. He's on here live with us. There's Connor himself. And guys, I got an email the other day from our good friend, God damn it. Connor, who I just told you who sent me an email? My head just froze.
I'm not sure.
About the triangles, about the
Oh yeah, North Alabama cryptid, David Baxter.
North Alabama cryptid. I'm sorry, North Alabama cryptid. If you're there in the chat, I'm sorry. And you gave me this idea about talking about not pyramids, talking about triangles, theories, and all that. So you know what? I'm gonna do a whole show on different Bermuda Triangle. There's the Bridgewater Triangle, the Bennington Triangle, the Lake Michigan Triangle. There's one called the Dragon's Triangle. There's so many triangles. The Matlock Triangle. So there's all these triangles. I know a lot of you know the Bermuda Triangle. Of course, that's the most popular one. But there's so many other triangles that are out there. And I thought, hey, maybe I could find enough videos for all the triangles so we kind of get an idea of the different ones out there for everybody. Now, the Bermuda Triangle is interesting because we all know the Bermuda Triangle. So what I did was for this one, I found a couple videos that say they found the answers on why the Bermuda Triangle is happening. You know, it's not really supernatural for this one. I thought, you know what, let's take a look at it. Now I got Connor on there, and let's see if some of this side stuff is the true reason that these events happen over these triangles, just for the Bermuda. So I don't want somebody watches it like, is Eric trying to prove that they're not real? No, I'm not trying to prove they're not real. I'm trying to hear why they're saying what's causing it. And only on the Bermuda Triangle one, just because we all know the story. And it's not like I'm showing you guys anything new on the Bermuda Triangle. So here's the first one that's called Ship Believed to be Lost in Bermuda Triangle in 1920 Found Off St. Augustine Coast. And this is the ship that they actually used in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when they're in the desert and they saw the airplanes and there's a ship there. This is the ship that they claim that they found that's one that got lost in the 1920. So here's the video for this.
Triangle, at least that's what people thought happened to a ship that just in the 1920s vanished.
But scientists have just determined that that old ship is actually on the ocean floor just off St. Augustine. Jessica Clark brings you this lost and found story.
This is the Cotopaxi.
It's a great name, huh?
It was a 250-foot-long cargo steamship
that was sailing in 1925 from Charleston, South Carolina to Havana.
But on that voyage, it vanished. It and its entire 32-person crew just disappeared.
What happened is that the ship kind of became part of the Bermuda Triangle myth.
The place in the Atlantic Ocean where ships and planes just slip away. It was also the ship in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind found in the desert.
There is that scene where there's this old rusting freighter in the middle of a desert, and you see the name Cotopaxi on its hull.
But federal scientist and diver Mike Barnett suspected the Cotopaxi was actually a shipwreck that many First Coast locals refer to as
the Bear Wreck,
35 miles off of St. Augustine. Barnett asked some shipwreck experts, such as Chuck Mead at the St. Augustine Lighthouse Archaeological Marine Program, to go to the site with him for a second opinion. So the wreck divers got a measuring tape, and they measured parts of the ship, and those measurements matched up with the vessel's blueprints.
We're pretty convinced we have compelling evidence this is the Cotopaxi. Mystery solved.
So what happened to the ship in 1925? Research shows it was a poorly maintained ship and
unbeknownst to the captain and crew, they were sailing right into the mouth of a tropical storm.
So all this time, the Cotopaxi was famous for its Bermuda Triangle connection and movie stardom when it turns out...
and it's been right here off our coast. Spear fishermen have been diving on that thing for years.
Jessica Clark, First Coast News, on your side.
Okay, real quick, Bolt Gun, he says, you're muted, brother. No, actually, I'm not mute. I mute myself on purpose because I'm talking to my friends on TikTok to get them over here on YouTube Live. So I mute myself on purpose so you guys don't have to hear me talk to the people on TikTok because we're a family. I'm trying to bridge the gap with TikTok and YouTubers together. So you think this ship that they found in St. Augustine is the ship that was lost in Bermuda Triangle by any chance? And all they have is measurements.
I think there might be a connection, man. The Bermuda Triangle swallows things up and then spits them out in other locations. So I think there's something to it. And, of course, St. Augustine has tons of magic, and that was the first civilization of, the new people here in America. But, yeah, very, very cool story. And I got a kick out of that, too. He's saying that you're muted, and I was muted, too. We're talking to 60 people are live right now on TikTok watching. What's up, YouTube? Y'all better step your game up. Man. But, it's pretty funny. But definitely love seeing everybody freak out about my microphone, too. Because I do it from here, and then I got my mic at home, and then I have to change the levels. And you never tell me in pre-show that my crap is messed up. So my first word every time, everybody's always like, your mic, this, that. I appreciate it, but...
There's times when things don't sound as perfect they are. But you know what? The show, it is what it is. You go live, you go with it, you run with it because it's real. We're not... No offense to anybody out there. We're not rich. We don't have backers. We don't have sponsors. What we have is what we have. Even this microphone, I got this on a clearance deal. I didn't have money to pay a full price microphone. I found one on clearance. I keep looking and I got it. It's the way it works. That's how we are. Now this next one from Bermuda Triangle. One more in the Bermuda Triangle. This is the hexagonal clouds over Bermuda Triangle. But apparently they found the reason why this weird stuff is happening. And it has to deal with the clouds. Wow, clouds is the cause of everything. So let's take a look at this video and let's judge it for ourselves. Hey guys, if you see me muted, it's because I'm talking to the wonderful people on TikTok. So don't worry about me.
Mystery behind the Bermuda Triangle might be solved. At least that's what a Science Channel show claims. The Bermuda Triangle is an area in the Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico that's famous for unexplained disappearances of ships and planes. And according to two meteorologists who spoke to the Science Channel for an episode of What on Earth, the mystery of the waters could be connected to some oddly shaped clouds. Those meteorologists looked at satellite photos of the Bermuda Triangle and found hexagon-shaped clouds right above the area. The pair theorizes that the clouds above the triangle might be causing, quote, air bombs or microbursts that could force powerful winds downward and cause massive waves. But there are a couple of holes in their theory. First, this weather pattern doesn't just happen in this area. These kinds of cloud formations reportedly happen in a lot of mid to high latitude locations, typically in colder seasons. Also, those clouds might not actually be causing air bombs. An NBC meteorologist says those formations don't look like microbursts. For Newsy, I'm Catherine Beek.
All right, so it's the clouds, and the thing is, Connor, these clouds are all over the world. So now, just like the famous stories of, we see like UFOs, they're air pockets, they're gases. So now they got more stuff to say why these strange things are happening. Listen, I'm not a scientist. I'm not saying it's not completely true, but really, these clouds. And it's just not happening here. It happens everywhere. So now every phenomenon has a reason. Are they blowing smoke up our ass? Connor?
Yeah, I think they're covering their tracks. They're just building up all these excuses. That way, the coming years, when the soda pop bottle gets too, carbonated and explodes and shows us everything, they're going to have their little cookie crumbs to run back to. Oh, no, it's just the hexagon clouds. It's just the comets falling. No, guys, the sky is falling right now. But, yeah, it's definitely very interesting. And, of course, the new Nope movie told us keep our eyes to the sky. Those clouds might not be clouds. So even their little see-through transparent excuses, we can punch right through it.
Oh, that's so interesting. Now, the next video is going to be about the Bridgewater Triangle. And just so you guys can see it right here, what is the Bridgewater Triangle? Before I play the video, let me make it bigger as much as I can. The Bridgewater Triangle, sprawling across a slice of Massachusetts. The Bridgewater Triangle covers some of the most foreboding and the mysterious terrain you can imagine. Think vast Blake wetlands and wooded zones large and dense enough to get lost in. This is the area that gave rise to one of the very first UFO sightings. Way back in the year 1760, onlookers reported a spear of fire so brilliant that it had been seen across several towns. In 1908, a pair of undertakers traveling on a carriage reported a flying object they likened to an unusual strong lantern. Other witnesses calibrated their story, some assuming it was a hot air balloon. Of course, hot air balloons is a reason for everything, right? The undertakers didn't agree with one writing. I claim that a hot air balloon could not move in a circle of perpendicular as one did. Okay, I like that. Now, the guy was saying, well, yeah, if it's an air balloon, it can't do this, what I saw. And he's right. Since then, the tales of explicable phenomena come time and again in the Bridgewater Triangle, including sightings of cryptid creatures such as Bigfoot, Thunderbirds, a huge flying animals of American myth. Mutilations of livestock has also been reported in the forest. So beyond that, let's check out this video.
Southeastern Massachusetts, a leafy glade of New England highways, a throwback to simpler days. It is also one of the most haunted areas in the country. 200 square miles of fright, encompassing 12 cities and towns, better known as the Bridgewater Triangle.
Abington being the top of it, Rehoboth the western corner, and Freetown being the eastern corner.
Ghost hunter Andrew Lake has been investigating the paranormal here in New England for decades. For some unexplainable reason, parts of Bristol and Plymouth County have been shrouded in darkness for hundreds of years.
From cryptid animals to phantom lights, UFOs, and ghosts.
Witnesses say those mystic creatures prowl the Hockomock Swamp, located in the triangle's heart of Bridgewater, Easton, Norton, Rainham, and Taunton. Hockomock, Algonquin for dark place, has spawned stories of prehistoric pterodactyls taking flight, 30-foot alligators, and half-man, half-ape-like giants thrashing through the woods.
Because we're talking 17,000 acres of swamp, and if you've ever really walked into the outskirts of the Hockomock, it is a dense forest and swamp, and I can easily believe that there are animals in there that people don't see on a regular basis.
In the triangle's eastern corner sits the Freetown Forest, a magnet for negative energy. 5,000 dense acres of former Wampanoag land that has been disturbed for centuries, a dumping ground for violent crimes and satanic rituals. Phantom orbs have been reported numerous times beaming out of the forest, including one directed at President Ronald Reagan.
But he had an encounter with a UFO over the Freetown State Forest in Air Force One. The mysterious light came out of the forest from the area of the Assonet Ledge and was stalking Air Force One. And by the time the fighters joined up with Air Force One, this thing took off at incredible speeds.
Northwest of Freetown in the triangle's other corner sits Rehoboth. Route 44 pours in from neighboring Seacon, and at the town line lurks the ghost of the red-headed hitchhiker. Some believe he was a farmer that was struck and killed back in the 50s while trying to help a passerby. Residents claim car accidents happen here far too often, and some have actually met Old Red.
People have claimed that they've slowed down to offer him a ride and he disappears, sometimes as he's reaching out for the door handle. A couple of people swear that he actually got into their vehicle and faded away.
Here in the town of Rehoboth, there are more cemeteries per square mile than any other town in the Bay State. And along with all these tombstones come a lot of stories. The Village Cemetery, one of 25 in town, boasts numerous stories of cryptic, shadowy figures hovering over graves, while others claim they have seen a young boy at the Palmer River Cemetery darting from stone to stone in a playful game of hide and seek.
Probably one of the spookiest things that people have talked about is a soldier in colonial garb walking amongst the graves where there are known veterans buried in there. He's been seen dragging his fingers along the tops of the stones as he walks by, and then like a bubble popping, he disappears.
The Bridgewater Triangle has its share of doubters. Andrew Lake says it's all a matter of time and space. He is a believer.
Are there certain areas in the world where these dimensions can open doors to one another, and if you're in the right place at the right time, you see it? We're not quite sure. We can speculate till doomsday, and I don't think we're ever really going to find the answers.
Frank Malakote, Fox 25 News.
All right, everybody. So what do we think of the Bridgewater Triangle? Isn't it interesting?
I think it's really cool. One, because Dina Parker is from that area, but the fact that they could say there's 30-foot alligators up in Massachusetts, that's amazing. I love that. And the fact that the swamp could, hold pterodactyls and skunk ape type creatures as well, Sasquatch beasts. Super, very cool. But the alligator part really stuck to me, man. Maybe they're crawling from Anthony and the New York City sewers, and then they, escape out to the Boston Harbor. But super cool, man. And the Bridgewater Triangle has weird monsters and a bunch of cool researchers too.
Yep. And let me shout out to the sponsor, the people who sponsor the channel: Terry Brown, Hobbs, Unidentified S4. Let me see. I want to make sure I shout out all the sponsor of the channels. I don't want to miss somebody. Donnie, I said Donnie Cho. If I miss somebody, I apologize. Sometimes the chat won't let me go back to certain far. They stops. So if I miss somebody who's sponsoring the channel, please put your thing there, because I want to thank you guys for sponsoring the channel. Now, guys, I'm not here to tell you need to believe in every single triangle. You don't have to believe in all the triangle stuff. But in these triangles, these areas, no matter what, if you believe in the triangles or not, these areas do have higher counts of UFO sightings, missing people in these areas. So take out the triangle, draw a circle, draw a square. I don't give a shit. These areas do have more sightings versus other areas. So they are interesting so many different ways. So don't get trapped on the exact triangle. Anybody can do a triangle with cities, but the sightings in these areas, what counts the most. Now, there is another place of famous sightings. It's called the Bennington Triangle. Now, this area is actually in Vermont. So if anybody lives near Vermont, I'll tell you, Bennington Triangle over in Vermont, another geographic area that has become notorious. The Bennington Triangle, which covers the craggy landmark, the Glassberry Mountains, there's ghost towns. Let me see here. The Bermuda Triangle has been the setting for a number of unexplained disappearances over the years. They began in 1945, so mysterious people have vanished in the Vermont area. Let me see here. Some years later, a young boy named Paul Jepson was told to wait in his mother's car while she visited a site near the mountain. She returned to an empty vehicle. Another huge search was launched, with hundreds of volunteers scouring the area to no avail. Both Paul in the middle of the bit. So what I'm saying is, missing bodies, missing people, and not just that they're missing. Not just they're missing. There's no evidence of these people missing. No foot marks, no feet marks. There's no dragging, no anything. It was like they just vanished out of nowhere. Like a wormhole just opens up. Like in that famous cartoon episode 2 and episode 1 of the Journey to the Unknown. People go missing without a trace, nothing, no broken trees, no nothing. And these are professional investigators in these areas. And hopefully they're doing their job right. Don't get me wrong. I hope they're doing their job right. But they're just gone, vanished. That's what makes it mysterious. They vanish without a trace. And now, if it was a kid taking off, trust me, there would be foot marks, feet, footprints, but nothing. So here's a video called "The Mysterious of the Bennington Triangle, Vermont, USA."
Did a man-eating beast once roam the Glastonbury Mountain in Vermont? Many have concluded this to be a possibility due to the baffling disappearances which have occurred within a triangular area of the mountain. Now known as the Bennington Triangle, was this mountainous area once the hunting grounds of a terrifying animal? An animal similar to the suspected culprit of the terrifying events which occurred within the Dyatlov Pass in 1951. An event largely, but reluctantly, put down by many as an attack by a Yeti. Between 1945 and 1950, activities peaked with no less than 5 people disappearing within the Bennington area in mystifying circumstances. November 12, 1945. 74-year-old Mitty Rivers vanished while hunting. Guiding a group of 4 hunters up the mountains, Rivers got slightly ahead of the group and was never seen again. Encombing searches were conducted, yet the only thing discovered was a single rifle cartridge in a stream.
Wow.
Rivers was an experienced hunter and fisherman, extremely familiar with the local terrain. Paula Weldon, 18, would vanish on December 1, 1946. An 18-year-old sophomore, she had set out for a hike along the long trail. She was being followed along the trail by a couple who were about 100 yards behind her. According to them, she turned a corner ahead and vanished forever. An extensive search was conducted.
Are you guys hearing so far what everybody's saying in these videos? 100 yards up, vanished. 100 yards. Think about that, people, just right in front of you, and the person's just gone. How the hell can somebody disappear that fast without leaving any kind of a trace? I mean, I'm not saying nothing's not impossible, but these stories, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I mean, it's like you hear different stories that are changing, but it still ends the same. They're just vanishing. It's a great song by Cinderella. The more things change, the more they stay the same. You guys should have a listen to it.
Conducted by the FBI, including a $5,000 reward for any information. However, no trace of her has ever been found. A strange rumor would subsequently circulate the town some years later, stating that he had fallen in love with something in the mountains and had become a recluse up there. December 1, 1949, exactly 3 years later, James Tedford, a war veteran, got on the bus. Somewhere between the last stop and Bennington, Tedford somehow vanished from the moving bus. His belongings were still in the luggage rack, and an open bus timetable was on his vacant seat.
Vanish while he's on the bus. You guys hear that? What's the explanation for that? If there's not like Terry Portal, there's got to be a reason. Got to be a reason.
Paul Jeffson vanished within the Bennington Triangle on October 12, 1950. Although he was wearing a large bright red coat, he was never seen again. Apparently, bloodhounds tracked him to the same stretch of road where Paula Weldon had vanished some 4 years prior. These are just a...
That's interesting, right? They use bloodhounds, vanish where somebody else has vanished. That's luck. I'm telling you guys, these woods are huge. What are the chances of almost exact same area? Let me tell you something. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. I'm telling you that right now.
Small number of the unexplained disappearances that have occurred within the Bennington Triangle. Are all these strange vanishings just an unfortunate coincidence? Or is there something else more sinister at play? Whatever is on the Glastonbury Mountain causing these events, we are not in a rush to personally meet it.
You know, people make fun of like the missing 411 saying blah, 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 blah. But if you guys listen to a lot of the missing 411 cases, a lot of it's almost the same. They vanished off a moving vehicle, 100 feet above them, all these different areas. How are they just vanished? I mean, that's the question you got to ask yourself. Are some of it explainable? I'm sure there is. But if you guys...
Donnie Joe brought up, Steve Stockton has been talking about how a lot of missing people wear red. And, you know, I was just in the Smoky Mountains looking for Dennis Martin, and the last thing Dennis Martin was wearing was a red jacket. And the one of the missing guy on a bus, that is crazy. That reminds me of one of the missing 401 cases, Brian Schaefer at Ohio State University. He was in a bar, and there's only 2 entrance and an exit. Both cameras, you know, never seen him leave, and he's never been spotted again. And then, of course, the young kid that got taken from the car, a lot of stories like that, like the kid does not know how to open the door, can't get out, it's locked, you know, and somehow they're gone from inside the doors. So, yeah, I think it's something to do with energy and how we can be put into waveform in these vortexes and portals. It's really crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. And guys, these, you know, I think earlier in the chat, I think our friend Oxide wrote in there that he's known, you know, 7 triangles. I mean, there's probably 20, 30s of these kind of triangles all over the world. I mean, they're not the exact shape of a triangle, but areas that these are happening in all over the place. Here we go. How about the scoop marks from abduction sometimes having a triangle pattern? Very fucking fantastic information. Everybody, share your information. What did Danny say? My brother Steve is 6'9" and 350 pounds, and I call him Squatch Boy. Well, now, if he's 350 pounds and 6'9", if he disappears, wow. Now, here's another triangle. The legend of the Lake Michigan Triangle. Let's go back to here for a second. Let me see here. Dragon's Triangle. I think that's the Bermuda Triangle. Here we go. Michigan Triangle, stretching out over 300 miles. Lake water on Earth. It's also the ominous embrace of so-called Michigan Triangle, which has been linked to yet more eerie aerial sightings of alleged disappearance that have inspired tales across the decades. You know, so I'm not going to read the exact stories because I got the video for Michigan Triangle, but Michigan, they have their own triangle too, right? So this video is the legend of the Lake Michigan Triangle. Let's check it out.
We all know Lake Michigan for its fishing, boating, and summertime fun.
But there is a little-known legend lurking on the lake. NBC 26's Matt Jarko explains why it's probably best to avoid the Lake Michigan Triangle.
Above the surface, a sunny day on Lake Michigan. From the shores of Manitowoc, nothing out there seems to be amiss. But below the surface, as the water goes deeper and darker, a mystery is revealed.
A lot of interesting stories have come out of that region of Lake Michigan.
Shipwrecks, plane crashes, UFO sightings.
No one knows why.
These strange things all happening from Manitowoc across the lake to Ludington, Michigan, down to Benton Harbor, Michigan, and back to Manitowoc.
That's the area that people believe to be the Lake Michigan Triangle.
Karen Duvall of the Wisconsin Maritime Museum says the legend began more than a century ago.
There was a ship called the Thomas Hune that was built in Manitowoc in 1870.
A 3-masted schooner which left Chicago in 1891 and never came back.
Disappeared. There was no trace of any part of the shipwreck. You know, usually shipwrecks will leave some timbers or debris left behind. Nothing. Completely disappeared.
30 years later, another schooner, another mystery.
There was a case of the Rosabelle. They found her floating in the lake, upside down. The back half of the ship was smashed. No one reported even having contact with this ship, or even much less a collision. The crew was missing.
Years later, a captain goes to nap and is never seen again.
The crew member went to wake him and find him, and he wasn't answering, so he broke in the door. The door was locked from the inside, and the captain was missing.
Besides the location of these crashes and shipwrecks, there's something else connecting them: unanswered questions. There are still many unknowns as to why these wrecks happened.
I think it's just one of those hidden secrets of the lakes that it's not really well known, but it's kind of just an interesting story, interesting theories.
Theories, but not answers. Many of the triangle's mysteries are still unsolved today. So next time
I'm pausing it for 1 second. Chocolate and cheese, I haven't seen you in a long time. I was hoping that nothing bad has happened to you. I was really hoping, because when something happens to people that we know that's been with us for a long time, you know, you think the worst. And I just want to say, man, I'm happy to see you here. Go. I'm so good. I'm so glad.
you look across the lake, remember the legend lingering below. For the great outdoors, Matt Jarko, NBC 26.
So what do you guys think of the Michigan Triangle? I mean, and if you look here, it says here, let me see here. The first mysterious were spoken back in the 19th century, with boats frequently going missing. Victim, the Triangle, the Rosabella vessel. 1937, Captain George Donner vanished from a freighter sailing through the Triangle. Planes have missing. I mean, again, missing without a trace. Same story, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Missing people all over the world, just vanished. Oh, it's nothing. Everything's explainable. Everything's explainable. People just vanish. It happens all the time. Yeah, people do vanish. It does happen. I'm not stupid enough to say everything is not explainable. I'm not. But you also got to recognize that some people do just vanish out of nowhere. Why? And that's the question everybody just wants to know. What happened? Why? Are all these investigators idiots? Don't know how to do their job? I hope that's not the case. You know, but people just vanish out of nowhere. Well, what's the next one? Oh, let me see here. Now, guys, there's a thing called the Matlock Triangle. It's famous in the Derbyshire Dells. They're like one of the UFO capitals of the world. And for whatever reason, I actually had a hard time to find any videos on the Matlock Triangle. I had a hard time. But they are considered like the UFO capital of the world. And maybe if I think Anthony was in the chat earlier, my UFO go-to guy, if there's something that he knows about the about UFOs in this area, please leave in the comments about this. But I did find a video, not exactly on the Matlock Triangle, but since there are UFOs, that's why they're known for. I found a video of people talking about their experiences of seeing UFOs in this area. So they might not exactly talk about the Matlock Triangle, but these are multiple people talking about their UFO experiences in this area where the Matlock Triangle has happened. So this is called UFOs in Derbyshire.
Peak District National Park, which is located largely within the county of Derbyshire in England, is renowned for its spectacular countryside. It is an area that is dotted with picturesque villages, a place where...
Something we couldn't explain.
Well, I looked out the window and I saw a slow-moving light that was going over the valley, and then I saw a light come on, it was like a ball of light, quite small, and then it just about 30 seconds afterwards went out, but I don't know.
Yeah, pretty similar.
So I fetched my binoculars because I only live round the corner, and it was tremendous this great big circle above Dower House.
3,500 people who've been on these walks in the last 10 years. So the things that we talk about on those walks are many and varied, but during the last 5 years we've introduced things to do with the UFOs and the myths and the legends that you know, that surround this area, to do with the villages and lost villages, lost areas, and lights in the sky, and where things have been seen. And so people wanted to go and see these things.
And longtime caller for the renowned Winster Morris dancers.
I was travelling from west to east from Buxton back to Winster, and it's a long main road which it's very straight, and you're travelling on there for about 15 minutes, and in the whole of that time this strange object in the sky,
Yeah, and guys, that was like the only closest thing I could find a video for the Matlock Triangle. But what I did like about the video, it's older, that these are regular looking people that have had sightings that look like people you would think that they're not ever gonna have sightings, you know, people that are not afraid to talk about it. And here, a guy, Springfield, who's from this area, says, I have confirmed sightings. I know the underground tunnels and all. So he has a confirmed sighting. And here's my good friend, Mandela Effect, that says, I know Matlock, been there a lot, never heard of that before. This is great. See, this is awesome. You know, he lives there too. He hasn't really heard a lot about it. But apparently, right here in the Matlock Triangle, here in Britain, we shouldn't feel left out of all these spooky goings on. After all, we have a very own Matlock Triangle, a zone in Derbyshire Dells, which some have been calling the UFO capital of the world. Numerous stories have circulated about odd growing objects hurtling over the dells, from cigar-shaped aircraft to one shaped like a bowler hat. One of the most widely reported sightings was made by Sharon Rowlands, a local woman who considered herself a complete and utter disbeliever until she set eyes on a giant, colorful disc hovering over her village. Rowlands caught the incident on her camcorders and reportedly sold the footage to a U.S. TV company for a handsome sum. As with the more famous Bermuda Triangle, controversy is staged over whether these are simply tall tales based on misfortune or bad science or whatever. Now, guys, of course, I can't claim to you that any of this is 100% true or not. It's impossible because I haven't walked around Derbyshire and saw UFOs personally. But here's a guy that's from this area, and he's claiming that he's seen lights in Derbyshire, And I had a friend who Mandela Effect lives in an area who hasn't seen these in the area. So, take it for the grain of salt. But it just proves to you that everywhere has sightings, and it's up to you on what's true or not. What I would say is they should send me, Connor, and Anthony from Unidentified S4 up there to investigate it, right? Some should sponsor us. You and I will. Hey, listen, Connor and I will even fly not first class. We'll fly coach, right?
I'll hang on to the bottom of the propeller or the wing, just get me there.
Yeah, give some oxygen, put us where the luggage is, make sure we can breathe and down, We'll
and a jacket. Luggage. I heard it gets really cold in there.
It gets cold. Give us a good warm jacket, a sleeping bag, and an oxygen tank. We'll fly there to Derbyshire and to look for UFOs and all that. Now, what's not on that article is the famous Alaska Triangle of Mysteries. So I got a bonus video that's not considered 5. So you can say this is number 6. So we got bonus videos, people. So this is the Alaska Triangle of Mysteries.
Wow.
You've probably heard legends about planes and ships mysteriously disappearing in the Bermuda Triangle. But those legends don't come close to the very real, very serious disappearances that have plagued Alaska for
I'm pausing it for a second because here's some pretty good information. I just seen them stop 300 feet above my house. Had it confirmed by MOFON, the raft, and an unnamed source. Many friends who live told have them see things after. There you go. He even said, "Oh, next time, guys, I got to start wearing my prescription sunglasses. These are prescriptions, so I can see these better after." So, Iron Dogger is from Alaska, so I'm sure she's got some things to say about the Alaska Triangle. But hey, we're here to talk about all triangles, and it's up to anybody if they want to believe it or not. I'm not here to say it's true or not. I'm just here sharing the information. Here we go.
There's a region of wilderness known by name Alaskan Triangle, and no matter what name you give it, it's far more deadly than its tropical cousin. The border of the Alaskan Triangle stretches from Barrow on the state's north.
I'm pausing again for one thing. Unidentified S4 just hit over 7K on his YouTube channel. Fantastic. Connor knows I just hit over 20K on TikTok. And you know what, guys? All from the advice from Connor. Connor goes, "You got the videos. Just start showing it. Show your videos that you're showing here." And I've done that on regular basis every single day, and I hit over 20K. Anthony just does his show, keeps it going, and he hits over 7K. And that's a milestone. Every step is a milestone.
Clickbait, right, Ant?
Everything's milestone. Connor just recently went over 90K. I remember when Connor was talking about being in the 80K. Connor just hit over 90K. So, guys, it's not happening overnight. It's not happening fast. But I'm seeing everybody in the community going up. That's fantastic. Now, the only trick that Connor and I is trying to find is, God, if we could just get half of these people on TikTok to come over and just subscribe. I mean,
half was crazy numbers. I want 1%. If I can get 1% of my TikTok followers over, I'd be sitting pretty, But it's hard to get people to even comment or like. So all we can do is just keep being ourselves and hopefully let the things fall. But 20K, man, I'm so proud of you. And then 7K is big for Anthony for sure. But 20K, man, that's a huge number for you, man. And you can go to now different products, different businesses, and march with that, man. You have 20K on TikTok, 15 or 16 strong on YouTube. The numbers are strong, man.
Yeah. Now, and I still want to crack the code on Twitter. That one's fucking seemed like it's impossible. But, I'm still trying on Twitter. I still put stuff up, but fucking Twitter is just one fucking beast after another. But here we go.
Coast to Anchorage and Juneau across the southern coast, and includes vast areas of largely unexplored wilderness. Sprawling forests, icy mountain peaks, and desolate tundras are clearly not the safest places in the world. The Alaskan Triangle first received widespread attention when U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs' airplane vanished somewhere between Anchorage and Juneau in 1972. The disappearance triggered one of the country's largest ever search and rescue operations, involving 40 military aircraft, 50 civilian planes, and 39 days of searching an area of 32,000 square miles. Yet the search yielded not a shred of results. No wreckage, no debris, no human remains. That wasn't the only aircraft to be lost, either. Back in 1950, a military craft with 44 passengers had disappeared without a trace, and a Cessna 340 carrying a pilot and 4 passengers vanished in 1990, never to be heard from again. Disappearances without a trace are strangely typical of cases in the region, and the cases aren't rare. Since 1988, more than 16,000 people have vanished in the Alaskan Triangle. This contributes to the annual filing of roughly 4 missing person reports for every 1,000 people in Alaska, more than twice the national average. It's easy to write off the disappearances as people getting lost and quickly succumbing to the elements, but the numbers seem too staggering for such an easy answer. One potential reason for the disappearing planes is that rain utterly obliterates them. In 1947, for example, the British South American Airways Lancastrian 3 airliner Stardust disappeared en route from Buenos Aires, Argentina to Santiago, Chile, and its fate was unknown for more than 50 years. 2 Argentinian climbers found the plane's wreckage while ascending Mount Upangato in 1998, and investigators concluded that Stardust had likely crashed into a nearly vertical glacier, which caused an avalanche that buried it within minutes. In the book In Search of the Kushtaka, Alaska's Other Bigfoot, The Land Otter Man of the Tlingit Indians, author Dennis Waller explores the history of mythical shape-shifting creatures found in stories of the Tlingit.
Set.
Have a good one, guys. Take it easy. Thank you. But I just wanted to say, Kushtaka is the otter man, and Bob, Dr. Wu, is always going on about the dang otter man. So, Bob, if you're watching, or if you're watching tonight, Kushtaka, this moment is for you, Dr. Wu.
And I do want to say, Iron Dogger is correct on this. This doesn't count for those who have been found and returned. And that's true for
Tsimshian Indians indigenous to Southeast.
For almost every story out there, you get a percentage of people are gone, and there are ones that are missing. But still, everything still has its mysteries.
Eastern Alaska. The Kushtaka roughly translates to Land Otter Man and is the Bigfoot of the Alaskan Triangle. Legend has it that the creature appears to travelers and in irresistible form, such as a relative or vulnerable child, to lure victims to a nearby river, where it tears them to shreds or turns them into another Kushtaka. In spite of many tales and theories, till the exact cause for the disappearance left to be unknown. If you are planning for a trip to Alaska, make sure that your plan does not include this triangle.
It's just so weird to see a picture when they say travel to Alaska, and you got a person wearing like a bra, and I'm like, I mean, I haven't been to Alaska. Actually, I've never been to Alaska, but when I think of Alaska, I think of cold. I think freezing. I don't know. You'd be wearing, and they got a surfboard in that picture. Can you surf in Alaska? Iron Dogger. Can people actually surf in Alaska? I've never heard anybody surfing, but they got a picture of a surfboard in that. Do people actually, can you actually surf in Alaska?
Hey, it's the coast, and they definitely have waves. You just definitely need a killer suit to keep you warm.
Yes. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Let me tell you something, people. I have a wetsuit that's, because I was living in Fresno. We used to go to Pismo Beach all the time. We go on the bodyboards, surfboards, and I had like a half body suit. And we first moved to Washington. I had my wetsuit. I went to a place called Westport. That's where you could surf in Washington. The first step I get into that Washington water with my wetsuit from California, that was fucking freezing cold. I had the wrong level. They actually had to have a thicker level because the water is a lot colder. And you don't think about that, right? You really, truly don't. So I'm sure if you're going to go surf in Alaska, and she wrote, yes, surf the bone tide. I'm sure their water's even colder than Washington. I'm sure they got to have a warmer wetsuit. So I learned my lesson. I mean, I was like, holy shit. Because mine was a half body
sense.
suit.
There's levels to it, but I wouldn't have, put that together either. I would have my Florida wetsuit, and I'll be freezing my balls off up in Massachusetts too.
You don't think of it, I don't need a rent a wetsuit. I got my own. Then you're like, oh my God, I guess I might have to go rent a thicker wetsuit. I mean, yeah, I mean, when you're sitting in the water for the longest part of the time, your body does warm up to it. But man, when I first put my feet in there, I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize it was this cold. It was a sunny day, but dry suit required. Okay. That's good to know. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, guys, I know it's still a little bit early. I like to go at least an hour. I got no more videos, but let's go check out Bigfoot Anon's TikTok channel. Right here. He's at 91.9 followers. And he's got this one called Old World Bigfoot. Let's take a look at it. Whoa, hold on. Let me pause that for a second. Are those big bones?
Yes. And these pictures, it's still a little mystery right now. They're fresh on the internet. Some sources are saying they're from the 1800s and 1700s. Hundreds of years ago over in Asia on these great expeditions that found the lost world, the old world. But then other people that are commenting on there, and there have been a huge wave of these AI generated images. So I am not 100% sure. All I could do is share it and hopefully get people to give me the truth. But yeah, either they're from hundreds of years ago in the old Asian expeditions, or they are AI computer generated images from now to show the old times. But it's very weird, and it's interesting either way, because either they're real images or they're brought by some kind of algorithm, and it has to have some kind of roots to something. But yeah, they're some crazy photos.
And guys, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to go right back to it, but I forgot to tell you guys, there's videos that I can't show because they're copyrighted on YouTube, but Reddit will let me show it. So if you guys ever, if you do have an account with Reddit, you might want to subscribe to me on Reddit, because some of the videos I can't show on YouTube, I can actually show on Reddit. Like expert claims they saw the Bermuda Triangle mystery. Bermuda Triangle, what happened to Flight 19? So some of these that I can't show, but I can show them on Reddit. So guys, if you do have a Reddit page, subscribe to me on Reddit. You might see some videos that I can't show on YouTube. So just a little thing. Let's get back to TikTok. Just wanted to shoot that out there. Let's press play. Is that on that picture here, is that supposed to be a spaceship?
Yeah, it's a spaceship house or a big mushroom that has petrified over. It's interesting stuff. That's all I could say, and that's where everything falls in line. If we are all one.
I'm just trying to make it a little bigger. There we go.
People in them, so it gives us scale. But again, it could be AI, it could be old world. So it's very interesting stuff.
It is. Oh, look at them! Wow. That's good. Oh, shit. Hold on. My fault. Hold on. I gotta shrink it for a second. Sometimes I put mute on it, because sometimes you're allowed certain music on TikTok, but believe it or not, you're not allowed on YouTube. And why does that make a difference? Some countries won't allow certain copyrights. So I want to make sure that everybody can see it. But you got Sasquatch evidence right here. You got, let me go back down. Here we go. Oh, evidence. Let's check out these evidence. Ooh. Wow, that's an interesting one. That's like a big black, that's a big ass son of a bitch, whatever that is.
Yeah, I like that photo. That's the cool thing. Same thing with that. Like sometimes they're not the most clearest images, but those ambiguous ones that maybe it caught movement, those are the ones that I'm really attracted to. So yeah, this set of pictures I was very proud of.
Yeah. Wow.
That one's taken by Jesus Pion, who plays Gonzo in Breaking Bad.
Oh, that's pretty good right there. The one.
Yeah, that's very famous. That's a still from a video too.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, Google Earth.
Oh, look at that! I always liked that one right there.
Yeah, that one's at Yellowstone. That one's weird. I don't know if that one's a gargoyle.
Look, I know. Look at those eyes. I mean, they're glowing. And then you got
the first picture looks like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys got to get to his TikTok channel if you're not on his TikTok, because you get a lot of good stuff right here.
Oh yeah, we still got people saying there's no proof of Sasquatch. Come on,
no.
There's pictures out there.
No. And I always tell people, you only need one to prove something's real. Only one. Only one. That's it. If you got one, you got it.
You can put the video on this one. It's my audio.
Oh, is it? Okay.
What's up, y'all? Here's the case.
I hate when anytime you move it slightly.
Here's the Cades Cove Ranger Station. This is where all the information is centralized, and this is also where Mr. Martin ran after Dennis went missing to start the search for the lost boy.
Wow.
Here's the Cades Cove. Today we are in Pate Pond, where recently a dead body was found. Just days after witnesses saw a goat-man creature just in this area. They said it was carrying a deer over its shoulder. And they've had Baphomet Baal reoccurring dreams ever since. What is going on at Pate Pond?
Wow, that's kind of creepy. It has a deer wrapped around him too?
Pretty crazy. 2 witnesses from the same area in the same week. Let me see if I could pull up the message from him so I can put it in his words, what he sent me. Yeah, he sent me his encounter, and then I went to Pate Pond right after the body was found. He said, hey, this is totally off. And this dude, my name is Connor Michael Flynn. My dad's name is Michael Flynn. This dude's name is Michael Flynn, too, and he's a teenage kid. He runs a Florida State football page, so really cool. He comes into my store, but he said, hey, this is totally off topic, but I know you look a lot for cryptid-related stuff. A couple months ago, I saw what looked like a Baphomet, tall black figure with a deer draped over his shoulder. It would have been the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, last night, someone else spotted the same thing. I made a post about it, and months later, someone saw it the same night and saw almost exactly what I saw on the road. A couple hours ago, they found a dead body by Pate Pond. I saw the creature at 1 a.m. It never crossed my mind to let you know. And then he's been having really bad nightmares ever since, too. So really, really wild.
Wow.
What's up, y'all? I am in Caryville, Florida, home of the wood ape, some crazy variation of an aggressive skunk ape. I've been told many encounters from this area, and my homie even sent me some crazy shrieking audio. I'll make sure to finally share that now. I'm looking at that barbed wire up there to see if anything's jumped over. How crazy that it's about 15 feet high. The wood ape roams. Beware in Caryville.
Wow, the wood ape. Now, if you put what would technically be scarier? And I'm being honest on this question: a wood ape, a skunk ape, dog man.
I'd probably have to go with the dog man, but these wood ape are a variant of the skunk ape. They're just way more aggressive. And the audio that I've heard of the wood apes and Donnie Miller's stories that he's told me about Caryville, definitely take a normal skunk ape over the wood ape. I think something in that area just drives him a little insane. But that Pate Pond goat man is right in the same area, so maybe these wood apes have to up their aggression just to survive in the area because there is these other top-notch predators. I don't know. It's very interesting, but I think a dog man would probably take both of the apes out.
Yep, and here's giants built the pyramids. I truly believe that.
All right. We are at the Etowah Mounds, aka the Tumwin Mounds, and this is a bucket list spot for me. One, because it's prehistoric, but a long time ago there was a big flood and giant bones layered this whole area. They found giant skulls and even a skeleton 14 feet tall. This area was built by the Titans. We got a giant pyramid platform, temple mound right behind, and then the Mecca right here. And you can just feel the electricity and the vibrations. It is magical out here. And inside the museum, there's definitely a lot of links to the wild man. We were brought here for a reason. Yes.
All right, man. I love everything, and you guys know, people in the chat. The Friday show Cryptids was recommended by you guys. Today's show was inspired by North Alabama Bigfoot. Talk about not the pyramids, of the triangles, and we did a whole show on triangles. So if you guys ever have any good ideas on some cryptids that maybe we never talked about here, and you guys know some videos or story, shoot me an email or something. Let me know. Leave a comment. Say, hey, you should check out these cryptids. Because if I could do a show on a cryptid that you guys recommended, then I know that you guys are even more interested, because there's thousands of cryptids out there that's, it's hard to one day, like, what cryptids should I talk about tomorrow? And sometimes you guys might know. So shoot me an email or comment. Tell me, hey, talk about this, talk about that. Because we're all one community. All of us. We're all one. We all love talking about this. And I want to learn every cryptid that there are too. Now, of course, don't make up some cryptid that there's no information on, and but you guys get what I'm talking about. So today's Monday. You got anything going on for the rest of the week?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I have any interviews planned. Everything's just been so blurry, man, recently. I'm just trying to stay afloat, really. I got bit by a tick recently, and I've been really sick. I'm on antibiotics right now, so honestly, I'm just hoping to be able to get my energy back and get out into the woods soon. Hopefully going to the movies this week. Mitch and I did some test shots for his next movie. I'm just super excited. Today, the new cover of my book just came out. If you want to pull it up on my Instagram, we can show it off real quick. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to stay afloat. Today's Monday. We got a long week ahead. I'm just trying to make it to the weekend so I can, clear my mind.
Oh, here it is. Okay, let me share the screen. And then real quick, Middle Effect, they wrote, if you want to do a Medelific show one day, give us an email and we'll sort a date out. Hell yeah. Actually, this Wednesday, I think the show this Wednesday is going to be at 6 instead of 8, because I got a guy who claims he's an ET from another planet, and he can only do 6, not 8. So I'm like, all right, I don't know who he is really. I don't know anything really about this guy, but I'm like, hey, I'm willing to listen to anybody. Who am I? Pick or choose. You say you're an ET guy, I'll bring you on the show. Tell me why you're an ET guy. Make me a believer. Make me believe that you're an ET guy. I'm not going to believe you just because you tell me. Prove it to me. That's going to be this Wednesday.
Yes, every camp has a crystal lake. My 5th book. Maybe my 5th and final book.
I love the fucking name. Because Crystal Lake has been with me forever since, the famous 1980, the very first Friday the 13th, Crystal Lake. And every place on this planet has a Crystal Lake. So the title is just absolutely perfect. I know you don't want to tell everything about it, but is there a little hint on what it's kind of about?
Oh yeah, I'll read the whole thing to you guys right now. I got no problem spoiling it. But yeah, it's about haunted campuses, haunted amusement parks, haunted summer camps that I grew up going to. And it's these places that you're supposed to feel safe and structured that you end up just surviving and actually becoming who you're supposed to be. So yeah, man, ranging from Disney World, Universal, Kings Island, haunted campuses all around Ohio, Cedar Point, Geauga Lake, a lot of fun stuff. So I'm really proud of it, and it's going to be a cool follow-up to my other stories, and just really happy to knock it out, and big weight off my shoulders to get my information out, because when you have all these thoughts in your head, you want to share it, and you want to find the right avenues. Some are going to be movies, some are going to be TV shows, some will be a chapter in my book. Oh wait, they're not going to read my book, but I still want them to hear this. So it's a weird balance, so you have to try to get it out, but again, just got to be myself and carry it on forward, and hopefully you guys buy the book and enjoy it, or have Kindle and can read it a page at a time. Either way is cool with me.
Yeah, and guys, that's a good way to also support Connor, and you're actually getting something out of it. You're getting a book. You're supporting and you're getting a book. I mean, that's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. You can't ask for something better than that. And then, guys, keep working. You know, let me show you the latest views on a couple cartoons. Episode 1's got 1.8 thousand views now, which is good. The second one at 807 views. If you guys haven't seen it, please check it out. Put a like and all that, because the episode 1, I think I'm either four or let me see here. Does it say how many likes? I'm like 3 or 4 likes away from getting over 100 likes on episode 1. So share it out. Tell people, put a like on it. Get it big. Episode 3, it's gonna be a lot of work, because I'm supposed to get it Friday or Saturday, and then Connor and I got to put the script together and trying to get everybody's voices by Sunday and Monday, so I can get it ready for Wednesday. So it's gonna be a tight window, but you know, I'm gonna do the best I can to have it ready for Wednesday of next week, episode 3. So, and if you guys want to tribute, you know, the PayPal's in the chat, and I want to thank you guys for who's watching it. I want to thank you guys who are sharing it to the world. I want to thank everybody who's sharing Bigfoot's channel to the world. And if you are a YouTuber, if you're YouTube channel, the best way you guys can share it is by putting it on your community bar. Because if you put it on your community bar, it sends out like an alert to your subscribers and say, hey, check this out. And that's how one way you can help out friends like Connor and myself. Put these on your community bars. If you're running a YouTube channel, if you're not, then you don't have to worry about it. But beyond that, guys, I'll be back tomorrow. And then, you know, we'll go on from there. Show Wednesday night. Guys, we got a busy week this week. But you know what? It's well worth it to do these shows for you guys. And I really...
And I see Terry Brown has a question. He said, I know we can buy your books on Amazon, but can we buy them directly from you? Terry Brown, you can, because you're Buckeye Brown, but I don't know if that's open to everybody else. But, you know, me and you could talk for sure. I could send you whatever books I have, sign them for you and send them over. But sadly, Jeff Bezos and the way they got me squeezed, the way they said it is Amazon. But hopefully soon, you know. But I definitely appreciate any way you guys can get it, you know, because it is a reflection of who I am. I'm pretty good at this podcasting stuff, but I feel like I've been writing a lot longer.
And guys, when he breaks it through Hollywood and becomes that big-time actor, you can all say, I know that fucker. I bought his book before he made it huge. You know? You know what I mean?
I hope I get a big break in some kind of fun cryptid movie, you know.
I'm
trying to learn as much from Mitch as possible now, you know, because he's a professional actor, man. He's won awards and stuff, and it's very cool to see someone from drinking the same water I am, you know, putting that kind of stuff on screen. So I'm just trying to keep up with my friends, and hopefully you guys all inspire each other too.
Good things will come, people. Just remember that the saying of today is, good things will come. Hard work will pay off. I'll see you guys tomorrow.